It feels like we've only just got the Tyrrells Premier 15s back and already the season is coming to an end. This weekend is round 18, the last weekend of the regular season. For four of the clubs in the league, this fixture will be a warm-up ahead of the playoff semi-finals. For the rest, it's a chance to sign off the season in style before it's time to regroup and rethink ahead of next season. Of course, we know our four semi-finalists. Nothing that happens this weekend will change that. Saracens beat Loughborough last weekend in dramatic fashion to secure top spot in the table and, crucially, the home semi-final that comes with it. The women's rugby show was at Surrey Sports Park to see Harlequins close in on that other home semi-final with a resounding win 76-12 over DMP Sharks. Loughborough looks set to finish third. They're confirmed in the playoffs, as are Wasps, who confirmed their spot with victory over Gloucester. So, as I said, Saracens are guaranteed to have their semi-final at Allianz Park, and that's also where they have their match this weekend against Furwood Waterloo Ladies. Well, it was a weekend to forget for Furwood. They became the first ever team to be beaten by the Worcester Valkyries in the Premier 15s. And it's fair to say their recent form has been poor. They've lost their last 8 games. And when they've lost to teams at the top of the table, they have lost big. 76-8 at Loughborough, 65-0 against Quins. Okay, it could be a massive scalp to go into next season if they can get something against Saracens. And of course, they could still finish 8th in the table. They're currently 9th should they get a win. But realistically, they shouldn't cause any issues for Saracens. The London club will be hoping for a bumper crowd. Their men's sides have their European Champions Cup quarter-final against Glasgow at the stadium earlier in the day. And the women's team are hoping that fans make a day of it and get tickets to both games. They really want to make the most of this fixture off the pitch. And on the pitch, they're also hoping to make some improvements from that win against Loughborough. Their coach Alex Ostenbury said after the game he wasn't happy with their performance. Remember, they led 19-0 at one point, but ended up behind with 3 minutes remaining. Their comeback in the dying seconds, of course, showed character. But Ostenbury says they learnt a lot about themselves. This match indeed is an opportunity to show exactly what they learned from that experience. However, there's been some bad news for them, a big blow today, and that is that Bryony Cleal, Vicky Fleetwood and Marley Packer will all be out for the rest of the season with injuries. So, bad news, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity for others in the squad to seize their chance. I'm definitely expecting changes to the team, injuries aside, with that semi-final looming, but I can't see anything in this match but a Saracens win. When these sides met on the opening day of the season, all the way back in round 1, it was 38-5 to Saracens. I reckon it'll be even more comfortable as they get a good warm-up for their playoff semi-final and keep the momentum flowing. I'm going to say 55 to Saracens. They'll also be hoping for a record crowd in the other game I'm previewing. Harlequins are back at Twickenham Stoop for their Game Changer fixture. For those of you who don't know what the Game Changer is, it's their celebration of women's sport. And when Adam and I caught up with some of the Quins players last week, they were so excited for this fixture. It really means a lot to them. Their record crowd at Twickenham Stoop is 4,500. That was against Richmond last season, and they are hoping to double that. At the time of me recording this, they've already sold over 4,000 tickets, so they're well on their way. And of course, what better way to keep people coming back than to put on a fantastic performance? Quins definitely have one of the toughest fixtures this weekend. They play 5th place Gloucester, who just missed out on the playoffs. But in my opinion, I think a tough game like that is ideal prep for the playoff semi-finals. When we spoke to them after their win against Sharks, the players stressed just how important it is to keep performing and not let their levels drop, and this should be the sort of challenging encounter they need. But what I'm most excited about for this game, not only the Game Changer, is the big battles on the pitch. England internationals Leanne Riley and Natasha Hunt will go up against each other at scrum half. Quins' Jess Breach, the Six Nations leading scorer, you remember, comes up even against Kelly Smith, the Tyrrells Premier 15 leading scorer. It really should be a fascinating encounter. The Quins games at the Stoop are always a great watch. And of course, they haven't lost a home game in over 2 years. It was a tight game when they played Gloucester in round 1, 38-24 to Quins. And I think I'm going to go with something similar for my prediction this time, perhaps even closer. Similar to when Gloucester lost to Sarries a few weeks ago, I'm going to go for a scoreline of 34-28. I think those two fixtures are the real standout games, especially because they should give us a good insight into what to expect from the home teams in the semis. Actually, I say the home teams, but talking about that, I have just been doing some research into what happens if third place Loughborough win their game with a bonus point. They're playing Richmond. And Quins lose without a bonus point. That would mean that both teams are on 72 points. Of course, Quins in second at the moment. We've not had confirmation from the Tyrrells Premier at the time of recording exactly what would happen, but I've had a look at the rules of the Gallagher Premiership to get an idea. So they say that in that case it goes down to the number of wins, but actually both teams would be on 14 wins. So if that was the case, we'd have to move it down again, and it would depend on the team with the larger difference between match points for and match points against, which is currently Quins. So I think it's fair to say, barring a major defeat for Quins and a huge win for Loughborough, it looks like it's only 8th and 9th place that could switch places. As I mentioned before, Furwood could leapfrog DMP Sharks. So I'm going to leave you with a question about that. What do you think about the lack of things decided on the final day of the season? Does that make things less exciting, or are you just happy to have it all out the way so you can just enjoy the rugby? Anyway, I hope you enjoy the weekend's action, and please, as always, send us your comments and predictions and let us know what you think about the fixtures. I haven't managed to cover 3 more fixtures. And if that hasn't done enough to whet your appetite for this weekend, subscribe to our channel and have a watch of our last episode when myself and Adam went to Harlequins against DMP Sharks. There's loads of player interviews, lots of fan interviews, and some great tries. Don't miss it.